Hey guys, thanks for joining me. Super easy recipe today. We're making ice cream with these tasty fellas, so let's get into it. Okay, so to start with this one, I've got a couple of parsnips that I just need to take the core out of, and we're going to cook these sous vide in the milk part of the recipe. So we just get rid of just going to take the core out, so it will cook quicker and we don't need it. So it will just be the hard part when we come to sieve it. So we can just this lower part we can just leave in, but just get a good majority of it out. Just make sure you peel them because it really releases the sweetness when you do that. Okay, once you've taken the core out of the parsnips, I'm just going to put them straight into a sous vide bag, and then I'm going to pour in the milk part of the recipe. So in here is 327 grams of full fat milk, and also I've got 140 grams of sugar here that I'm just going to put in the bag. And because I'm going to use pre-sugared eggs, which means I don't need to make an anglaise, I can just put it all in the bag. The sugar will dissolve before it goes into the machine, so I won't get any sugar grains. So whereas you'd normally make the anglaise, the way I'm doing it today is just cutting that step out just to make it a little bit easier. So that can go straight into a bag and then seal. And remember, once you start to see the milk traveling up the bag, then just to stop it. If you don't have one of these machines, you can actually just put it straight into like a Ziploc bag, and then submerge it in water, and the pressure of the water will remove any of the air, and then you can just seal it. And then just cook it either in a water bath, or you can just do it on a really low heat in a pan on the stove. So that is the base mix with the parsnips. So we're just going to sous vide these at 90 degrees, and I think it's going to take about 35 minutes, and they're going to be, we want to do it so it's a bit hotter than the usual temperature, so we make sure that they're really soft, and then we're going to go into the blender and then give those a whiz, so we can then get the maximum flavour of the parsnip and then strain out any of the bits. This is preset 90 degrees, so let's put them in. So I've got 371 grams, so it's not millilitres, it's grams of heavy cream, 25 grams of milk powder, vanilla bean paste here. So this is just to taste. And here I've got, this is the sugared egg yolks and pasteurised, so don't need to cook it. So there's 170 grams of yolks there that can go straight in. You can give that a mix, and then that can just sit on the side until the parsnips are ready. When the parsnips are ready, we're going to blend them. We can combine it all. I've got the Churn basket, whatever it's called, in the freezer. So I'm going to stick this on now so it comes down to temperature, so then when we go in with the mix we can just get a really quick churn. Okay, so these are actually ready already. So it's taken 22 minutes at 90 degrees, and you can see here that if you squeeze the parsnip that they're just falling apart. So take those out, and I'm just going to pour them straight into the blender. So just cut the bag and then straight in. So put this one on. Okay, so this is really smooth now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of this to the cream and milk powder mixture. Just going to mix that in, and then that will bring the temperature down, so we're not going to curdle the eggs that are in there, like scramble the eggs that are already in there. But the milk powder is slightly lumpy, so just to make sure that we get rid of those lumps, we're going to blend it, and then we're going to pass it. So that can just go on again for a few more seconds. And then we're just going to put it through the sieve. And there's pretty much nothing there. So the parsnips were cooked so well that there wasn't any resistance during blending. So I thought there would be actually stringy parts from the parsnips there, but that didn't happen. And the reason I cooked it sous vide was because I wanted to keep the quantities exact. So if you were to do it on the stove, you would run the risk of scorching the milk, and also you would have evaporation, so you would reduce the amount of milk that was actually there. So you could do that, but if you're going to do it that way, when you're done, just make sure that you take out the parsnips and then reweigh it, just to make sure you've got the original amount. So, and then if you haven't, you can just top some milk in there to bring up the number. So that's our mixture. Just going to grab the bin that's in the freezer. So this has been in for a while. So we're just going to wait for this to cool down. So this is actually running at -40, so it's got a pretty good temperature on it. So compared to most of these home ice cream machines. So that can sit in there. And then when this is at room temperature, we're just going to pour that straight in. So my mixture now is down to room temperature. So I'm just going to pour that straight in. And that's pretty much a bang on quantity for the bin. Okay, so my ice cream is finished churning. So I'm just going to take this out, and we're going to scrape it down, and because it's pretty soft, you can see that texture. And then I'm just going to transfer it actually into a plastic container. So afterwards it will be much easier to scoop than trying to scoop out of this thing. And this can go straight in the freezer. So my parsnip ice cream has been in the freezer for just over an hour. So I've tried it, levels are awesome. So I'm just gonna make up a rocher so you can see it. So a rocher is basically a one-handed quenelle. So just gonna go straight in. It's really soft, so it's not actually too sweet, but with the sugar content, we've got really nice scoopability. So it's got a nice shine, a good flavour, good level of parsnip. So, and then we're just gonna place it in the bowl. So this is to go with my sticky toffee pudding, or ginger sticky toffee pudding. So if you haven't seen that video, you'll be able to find it after this one, and just click the link and it will take you there. So they pair up really well. So if you want to give that a go, then don't forget to comment. If you do, put whatever you need to, ask questions, I'll happily get back to you. And until the next one, have a good one.